Hello, everybody, and welcome into another edition of Inside Pitch here at the St. Louis Post-Dispatch. I'm Ben Frederickson alongside Jeff Gordon, and we are here to break down the Cardinals as we are every week at STLtoday.com. And this week we're talking about a very hot Cardinals team. They've won 10 out of their last 12 games, about a week out from the trade deadline. Seems to me like they're telling the front office, hey, treat us like a contender here. The division is right there for the taking.
Well, they've certainly put themselves in that position. Took advantage of Cincinnati, which is a sad case. Pittsburgh, a good team before the break, a terrible team since the break. Take advantage of that, win some road games, win some games in some rather exciting fashion, and get a bunch of guys hitting who weren't hitting for, April and May. So now, and even into June. Now you're seeing in July an offense starting to look like the team we all expected we'd see.
Yeah, it helps when Paul Goldschmidt hits key home runs that tilt games. It helps when Paul DeYoung hits 3 home runs in a game for the first time by a Cardinals shortstop in history. And it helps when, some of these younger guys are starting to show more aggression at the plate, and it's paying off. Guys like Jairo Munoz and Tommy Edman have really kind of helped stir this offense to life, which leads us to our next topic here, Gordo. Matt Carpenter. He is, as we are filming this, 2 games into his second rehab, into his rehab tour at Memphis. He's played 2 games. He's not fared all that well in terms of results. The strikeouts are up. He's not hitting, which is what you wanted to see at Memphis. Now, he's there to get healthy after fouling that ball off his foot, but he's also there to prove he can make a difference for this team. They'd like to see him produce there, in part because Tommy Edman is playing so well here in St. Louis. The Cardinals had hoped that Matt Carpenter would be back on Friday. That could still be the case, but how do they handle this? If he doesn't produce in Memphis, if he doesn't catch fire and look like he's ready to come back with a full head of steam, I don't think they can bring him back and start him over a guy like Edman or Jairo Munoz, considering the run this team is on.
Yeah, there's really 2 factors here. One, I think you have to play him at least some because you're paying him. He's Matt Carpenter, but for how long? Very tricky situation. And Bedford, the other hard part is, with the trade deadline coming, you got a lot of infielders. Is this a place that you trade from? Well, Colton Wong's playing great, defense and offense right now. You mentioned Munoz, you mentioned Edman, you mentioned DeYoung. You like your infield right now, and then there's Matt Carpenter. And so normally you say, well, trade one of the extra infielders and get a pitcher. But those guys are playing well, and Matt hasn't. So what do you do?
Yeah, I think it's a tough sell to this team that is actually pulling the Cardinals up to the top of the pack to then take it apart for a veteran who has not performed. I mean, Matt Carpenter has been a great player in the past. He's been a bad player this year. At some point, you worry about this year more than the past, and that's kind of the conversations the Cardinals are having right now. They're about to enter this gauntlet of games. They've got Houston coming to town. They've got the Cubs coming to town, the A's after that, and the trade deadline is going to be there in that second game of the Cubs series, the team they're really butting heads with for the division right now. Milwaukee's not going anywhere either. All of these teams are going to make improvements. What do you think the Cardinals need to do by the time that the deadline comes? It's only one deadline. You don't get to do lingering moves after. I think they got to get a starting pitcher.
Yeah, that's been Bedford. You've been all over that, and you've been right on about that. Daniel Ponce de Leon can't work deep in the games. Adam Wainwright managed to get through 5 the other night. I mean, they need another starting pitcher, and they need one badly. The offense showing life, the bullpen showing strain. So what do you do about that rotation? John Mozeliak on the spot.
Also probably a left-handed reliever on the list for the Cardinals. For Jeff Gordon, I'm Ben Frederickson. We'll talk to you next time on Inside Pitch. Keep it locked at STLtoday.com for all of your Cardinals coverage.